My name's Andy Overton, and today's webinar we're going to be discussing how to go about planning and also implementing your Oracle SOA Suite 12c upgrade. This is the second in a three-part series. The first part was last week with my colleague Matt Brazier, who discussed what's new in SOA Suite 12c. And in case you missed that one, that's now available on our website and also on our YouTube channel. And the third part will be at the same time next week. And in that one, we'll be taking a look at what to do once you've upgraded to 12c. And I'll give you some more details on that later. Okay, so first of all, just a little bit about the company that I work for. It's C2B2 Consulting Limited. We're Oracle Gold partners, and we've been partners now for a number of years. We have a number of Oracle SOA Suite certified consultants, and we have a number of customers who we provide both consultancy services and support services for their SOA Suite installations or environments. Our company specialises in middleware and integration technologies, and we provide both consultancy services and expert support services where we provide 24/7 support for customers. So we have a lot of experience in troubleshooting and resolving issues with SOA Suite, as well as setting up SOA Suite environments and, of course, upgrading. So just a little bit about myself. I have over 15 years experience in the IT industry. I began life for my sins as a Java developer, then moved into being a Java development team lead, and then moved into the middleware field, and I now work as part of the C2B2 expert support team, helping out customers with their middleware issues. So today we're going to be looking at how to go about planning and also how to go about implementing your upgrade to SOA Suite 12c. So where do you begin? Well, it may seem quite daunting at first. SOA Suite is not just one product, it's a suite of products, and it's quite complex, and upgrading may at first seem like a difficult task. Now, I'm not going to deny that it is complicated, but as long as you plan it out in advance, you can make life much easier for yourself and ensure that your upgrade goes smoothly. So there are four main areas to concentrate on when upgrading SOA Suite. So first of all, there's a pre-upgrade stage, and there's a number of steps you need to take before you begin your upgrade. Now, this is a key area, and one which you need to get right in order to ensure that your upgrade goes well. Once that stage is complete, you can then go about doing the upgrade itself, and a number of pieces of software that come with SOA Suite that will help you out with that. Once your upgrade is complete, there's a number of things you need to do post-upgrade, and then finally, once all those steps are complete, you need to thoroughly test your system to ensure the upgrade went okay, and that all your applications and all your servers, etc., are working as expected. So with that in mind, first of all, we'll take a look at a number of steps that are required prior to doing your upgrade. So this is the pre-upgrade stage. Now, this is the key, as I mentioned earlier, this is the key phase. If you get this right, your upgrade should go smoothly. If you don't spend enough attention on this, then you can run into a number of difficulties and a number of problems can arise. So first of all, and a key thing that's often overlooked, is that you need to ensure that you're actually in a position to do the upgrade. So this involves looking at things like your SOA version, your database, your JDK or your JVM. So for example, regarding the JDK, only JDK 7 is supported. So if you're running on a previous version, then you'll need to upgrade that before you go about upgrading SOA Suite. In addition to that, the JVM must be 64-bit. Your database must be Oracle 11G or 12C. And the version of SOA Suite must be 11.1.16 or 1.1.7. One key thing with SOA Suite 12C is that the policy store can no longer be file-based. So you can only upgrade a domain using LDAP or a database-based policy store. And you'll need to migrate any file-based policy store to a database or LDAP before you do the upgrade. So this should be a part of your upgrade plan if it's needed. And obviously, if you're already using database policy store, then you don't need to worry about those tasks. So the key thing here is creating an upgrade plan. It's no use going into this and just going, oh, we'll just upgrade everything and everything will be fine. You need to sit down, you need to have a really good think about how you're going to go about doing your upgrade. Plan everything out in advance and it will make your life a lot easier. So there are a number of approaches that can be taken when you're upgrading a SOA Suite environment, and which approach works best for you or for your particular projects will depend on a number of factors. So some of those include things like what SOA Suite components and features are you using? Are there any in particular you want to use? What environments do you have? Also look at things like, are there any features of 11G that you currently rely on that are no longer available in 12C? And sort of the flip side to that is, are there any new features of 12C that you'd like to take advantage of that you're currently not using? So you need to be thinking these things through at the planning stage. Obviously realizing too late on that a feature you're currently using is no longer available, it's a bit of a recipe for disaster. So as I've said, creating an upgrade plan is a real key point. You need to make sure that you've thought of everything before you go about doing the upgrade. Now, the first point on this slide may seem a bit obvious, but read the documentation. It's often overlooked. There's a wealth of material on upgrading, and you should read it all thoroughly before you proceed. You need to ensure you keep track of any customizations you've got, whether it be changes to startup scripts, e.g. JVM parameters, memory settings, anything like that. Any changes you've made to policy files, any changes you've made to any config files, and also any patches that you've applied that may need to be reapplied, or there may be different versions of those patches for 12C, or they may not be needed in 12C. So all of these things will be overwritten when you upgrade. So it's essential that you know what changes are there and that you've backed up everything, just in case anything goes wrong. So regarding backing everything up, you need to create a backup copy of your entire pre-grade environment before you upgrade. So this includes your domain, your database, and also your new installation. So once you've installed 12C, it's very useful to do a backup of your new Oracle home. This backup will allow you to restore to a pre-upgrade state, and this can be really useful. So rather than having to do a complete reinstall of the entire instance, if the upgrade fails for any reason, you can quite easily restore back to a certain point before it went wrong. And also, this is a key point as well, make sure that if necessary you can restore each part of your system from backup if you need to. There's no point in having backups if you don't know how to actually go about restoring them. And also, you need to be sure that you can actually restore from those backups if necessary. When you do the upgrade assistant will upgrade all the open instances within 12c, so within your current setup, and all closed instances will be upgraded lazily, sort of in the background. Now this can take a lot of time. It can also take up a lot of disk space, so we'd advise that you purge old instances. That's something that you should have in place anyway, but it's worth doing a complete purge before you do the upgrade in order to save time and in order to save disk space. You need to ensure that you develop a comprehensive test plan prior to doing your upgrade. It's no good doing it after the upgrade. You need to make sure it covers everything, from infrastructure, networking, your middleware, your applications, things like load balancing. You need to do performance and load testing. And you need to ensure that all of that's covered in your test plan before you go about doing your upgrade. And finally, before you do your upgrade, you need to install SOA Suite. Now, they've made things a lot easier with 12c. 11 could be a real pain to install, and I know because I've had to do it on a number of occasions. But the new version is much easier to install. And what it will do is it will install in a new directory, and that will sit alongside your previous installation. So once all your pre-upgrade tasks are complete, you can actually go back to beginning the upgrade process. So one key thing here is to ensure that you upgrade a test system first, and that must be representative of production. This is vital. It's no good upgrading a system that's a bit like your production system. You need to know that the results you'll get in test, the results you get in test are the same as you'll get in prod. So you need to ensure that you do this in test first, make sure everything goes fine before you go about doing this in production. So the upgrade process itself is actually fairly straightforward. So you'll need to create new database schemas, and as with 11G, you can use the repository creation utility, or RCU. You'll need to upgrade your schemas and migrate your instances, but this can be done using the upgrade assistant, which will do that for you. And you'll need to reconfigure your current domain. Now you can do that. There's also a piece of software for doing this. So if you've got a reconfiguration wizard, or you can also do this via WLST, the WebLogic scripting tool. So when you reconfigure your domain, the domain version number will change in your config.xml file. There's a bunch of reconfiguration templates for all your Oracle products, and they'll be automatically selected and applied to the domain. And they define any tasks that are required to make your WebLogic domain compatible with your current WebLogic server version. Oh, and in addition to this, as I mentioned earlier, your starter scripts will be updated. So you need to ensure that you've got details of any changes you've made to those. You'll need to then upgrade your domain. You can do this using the upgrade assistant. You'll need to upgrade all of your SOA projects in JDeveloper, and you'll need to deploy your applications to your newly upgraded system. So once you've actually done your upgrade, so you've done your pre-upgrade steps, you've done your upgrade steps, and there are a few additional things you need to do post-upgrade. So we recommend doing a backup of the domain and the database once you've done the upgrade. Now, this may seem a bit strange, but it's very useful to be able to go back to a point in time, because once you've made changes, you no longer know where your system is at, whereas at this point, you know where things are, so it's very useful to do a backup at this point to be able to go back to if anything goes wrong. So, as I mentioned earlier, the the configuration wizard won't carry forward any customizations you've made to your startup scripts or any of the config files. So after you've completed the upgrade process, you'll need to customize those scripts and config files and things again. Also, file permissions are not preserved. So if you have any non-default file permissions, so everything will be installed with file permissions set to the person who did the upgrade, or the user that did the upgrade. So if you have any non-default file permissions, you'll need to make sure you put those back in place. So things like locking down files containing passwords or anything like that. Now, if you're using Node Manager to start and stop your servers, then you'll need to ensure that all your server startup options are configured correctly. And also, during the upgrade, you'll migrate all of your instances. This can take a lot of time, so you need to ensure that firstly, this is completed, and secondly, that the instances have been migrated successfully. Okay, so once you've completed your upgrade, you need to ensure everything is working correctly. So, as I mentioned previously, you should have a test plan created during the pre-upgrade phase. This needs to be a comprehensive test plan covering basically everything. So, first of all, you want to ensure that all of your servers start up okay. And even though they may appear to start correctly, it's always worth checking the logs for any errors or any issues. Also, make sure you can stop and restart your servers. So make sure you can start them, stop them, and restart all of the servers in your domain. Test your applications. So this should be thoroughly documented in your test plan, how to go about doing that. And also test your SOA projects in JDeveloper, because if you do need to make changes or fix any bugs, anything like that, you need to make sure that things are working okay in the first place. Now, these things are often overlooked. You need to ensure that you do performance testing, load testing, and stress testing. Ensure that the performance of your system is as expected, and do some performance tuning if necessary. Make sure you test the system under standard load, as well as performance stress testing to make sure you can cope with high volumes of traffic or any changes to the amount of traffic coming in. So that's basically, we're coming towards the end of this webinar now. I know it's been quite short. We only have half an hour, so I haven't been able to cover anything in depth, but hopefully this gives you a flavour of the kind of things you need to do. So there's a few things I'd like to go over before we finish off. So on our website, you'll find details on our roadmap for SOA Suite migration. Now, this roadmap's been developed based on our experience of doing SOA Suite upgrades, and it includes Oracle's best practices, as well as our own that we've found from doing this time and again. And it's basically all about planning your upgrade from beginning to end. So if you have any questions or you'd like to discuss upgrading SOA Suite, then you can do so either through our website or by contacting us at soa@c2b2.co.uk. We also provide on our website a number of resources relating to SOA Suite, and those can be found at either c2b2.co.uk/SOA, or we've got a whole bunch of blogs and videos and things like that at info.c2b2.co.uk/SOA Suite resources. Okay, so finally, our next webinar in this series will be in a week's time, and in that one we'll look at what to do once you have upgraded. So the details for that can be found on our website at c2b2.co.uk/SOA. You can also register for the webinar there, and as with all our webinars, it will be made available online after that date. So if you can't make it, then you can still view it later, as with this particular webinar and the one from last week. So that's it for now. I hope this has been useful. Thank you very much for your time, and hopefully it's been of some use to you. Thank you.